All right, everyone. Welcome to the first CloutTrends video interview. Today, the trend we're talking about is influencers joining BitClout. And for this, we have the one and only Cassius Cuvée, relatively new to BitClout. But, we want to talk about his journey up until this point, why he decided to join BitClout, and what the future has in store. So thank you so much for joining, Cassius.
Man, thanks for having me, Darian. Man, it's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So let's go over really quickly, what you were doing before BitClout. I know, you have a music background. Let's talk about how you got into music and what's evolved since then.
Well, man, I've been doing music for a long time. Kind of ever since I was a kid. I always liked rap, especially hip hop and rap when I grew up, and of course R&B and stuff too, but mostly rap. And so, as of last year, I put out my first Cassius Cuvée album in 2020 in January, right before the pandemic hit, called "Riding My Own Wave," and I had a pretty good response for it. Over 500,000 spins on my main single on Spotify, and I was, about to go really hard, leaning into it, and then the pandemic hit, and so that was when I got into stock trading, and so I kind of put the album on hold a little bit because I knew that there was an opportunity there. And what ended up happening, kind of fast forward, we'll talk about stock trading later, but I was so involved on Twitter, was the main kind of profile I was using, a platform. And then I was watching CNBC and stuff. I ended up making this song called SPAC Dream, because as an artist, I'm always like writing about a reflection of what's happening in my real life. And I was trading SPACs a lot, and I was in the SPAC community on Twitter. I still am part of those guys. Shout out to all those guys. And basically, I ended up making this song, and I just kind of know, I was like, man, this is going to be a hit because, first of all, I appreciate all the information that everybody gave me. So the song was kind of like a shout out to everybody who have been helping me along that journey, and I do it in the way that I know how to do it, which is make music. And so it ended up kind of going viral like overnight. They played it on CNBC and stuff. And that was like my first music video, of the year for sure. First music video, it's Cassius Cuvée. And then it kind of just went viral right away. And so my album is actually dropping tomorrow, brand new plug. And, some songs I've been waiting to put out are finally all coming out. So here I am now. And I discovered BitClout right before I went to the Bitcoin conference, which is, by the way, an excellent experience. But I signed up for BitClout about a week and a half before that, maybe. And I knew immediately that it was something special, but I didn't get to really dig into it deep because I was getting ready to go to the conference and everything. And I started getting deep into NFTs and making music video NFTs and songs. And finally, when first week back from the conference, we got those down, I was like, I got to get into BitClout more. And I just leaned into it. And then I love it, by the way. I love the platform. I love the people. I love how it operates. I love how you can give diamonds and all of that, because I'm also the guy with the diamond hands all the time. And I love that you can really show love in a monetary way, even if it's only $5 or $10 here and there. I like to spread the wealth a lot. All the cool people can literally buy their coin. It's more than just a like or a follow. So I definitely like that aspect of it. And
yeah, so let's let's pause on SPAC Dream, because I watched and listened to that. I think the song is great. The music video is really well done. Really enjoyed that. I think let's talk about, you got on CNBC, not only with the play, but I watched a clip where they had you on to talk, a bit. What was that like, going from someone who was relatively new to finance, really getting into watching CNBC? How was that to be on there, and what did that do for your growth?
Well, I mean, it was, I got to tell you, it's so fun. It was great. I mean, they had me on the show Fast Money with Melissa Lee, and shout out her and Guy Adami and all the people down there at Fast Money. And it was really fun, man. I wake up in the morning I released a song of the video on YouTube on a Friday, and on Monday morning, David Faber and Jim Cramer and Carl Cantanilla are playing my video and talking about me on CNBC. I'm like, what? I just released it over the weekend, And it kind of started going viral over the weekend. I had about 8,000 views. And then that day it got like 80,000 spins at that point, as streams on YouTube. Bill Ackman retweeted it. And I was like, I had an interview in the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg and some international.
Well, Bill Ackman has a SPAC now, so he has to,
Well, he had a SPAC. Support. That was when he had a SPAC too, and when that one was hot. And so he just tweeted, "Watch this," So I was like, I'm probably the only rapper recording artist who ever had, less than 500 followers on Twitter have their video retweeted by a billionaire, you know? So it's kind of a unique experience. And everybody's really cool with fast money. And so I did talk to them about my experience as a new trader, an investor, and how much I've learned over just that short amount of time, less than a year. And so, you know, I still make, obviously I make music, not all my songs are about finance and whatnot, but this has definitely been a fun experience because I get to like also educate members of my community who we were all like left out. I didn't know about this. You know, I didn't know the opportunity was there, really anything about how it worked. And so now I have people hitting me every day about cryptocurrency or stock trading or some investment advice or how do you do NFTs and what is BitClout, you know? So I'm kind of like the go-to person in my community for kind of spreading awareness to this. And I'm leaning all the way into that.
Yeah, I think that's great. And, you know, really leading by example there. Let's talk about how you got into SPACs or finance and stock trading. Was it just, you know, something that cropped up over the pandemic? Was there, you know, a specific person that influenced you? Let's talk about that.
Well, no, I wish there was a specific person. There was not. I always kind of had a mind for wanting to invest in different things, but, you know, I've tried kind of real estate a little bit here and there, but like, I never, for whatever reason, even though it was right under my nose, I never looked into the stock market. And so it's kind of obvious when the whole stock market crashed, you know, like I knew, okay, this is the opportunity I've been waiting for, even though I probably should have been learning it a long time ago. And so you know, I had to figure it out. I knew learning when it was down would be a good idea because the wind would be at my back per se. So I made a lot of mistakes, but like, you know, you're kind of able to recover when you're in obviously a bull market at the time. And so, you know, I learned a ton about options trading, everything, but SPACs were a particularly nuanced thing that I learned about. I say in the song SPAC Dream, I kind of started out, I like the idea of getting on the ground floor, some hence BitClout, but like IPOs, I say in the very first line of SPAC Dream, it goes, if you in the SPAC game, you know what I'm talking about. We're sick of IPOs day one locking us out. I knew like Warner Music Group was going public, but you couldn't buy their stock at the price when they IPO'd. So a SPAC, you could get in before, if you were pre-DA, pre-definitive agreement, you could get in. And then once they found their company, then you know, it would spike up. So I kind of got in that community on Twitter and, you know, kind of made friends with some guys, and shout out venture investors. And he kind of showed me the ropes and different folks on there that I follow, SPAC Guru. And like, that was really what got me understanding kind of in the weeds more about finance and specifically SPACs and how you could get in. And then DraftKings was my entry into it because I knew DraftKings already because me and my friend Randy were like sports bettors. And so then, and then after the Nikolai, saying the song, after Nikolai merger hit, it was over with. And I list all the people I started following and giving them a shout out because then I learned, okay, this is how this works. And so that song actually tells the story.
Yeah, I like that. And there's a component or a thread of this that actually exists on BitClout as well, which is what you mentioned before the definitive agreement or the DA. There's, you know, the SPAC price hasn't moved yet, and then you're betting on that founding team or the promoters or sponsors. And you can do a similar thing on BitClout where, you know, because of the bonding curve and the steepness, how fast, you know, the price rises in the first part of that curve. When you bet on people early, it really pays off when they, you know, hit it with, you know, a new project or something, you know, the content, their creator. So I think, is that something that interested you in BitClout? And maybe, you know, we can go back and talk also about just how you found out about BitClout and, you know, why you thought there was an opportunity here.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so even before a year ago, before I even heard of BitClout, I was like, I want to be the first recording artist to like have a SPAC of himself or go bring himself public. You know, I don't have no idea how to do this, but I was like, I want to invest in myself or have others invest in me. So then like fast forward, and then I had heard about like people talking about Kim Kardashian or someone doing, I was like, yeah, I guess it makes a lot of sense, especially for someone like her. Then when I found out about BitClout, I was like, this is exactly what I was already thinking. Like, you had me at hello. You know, like I get my own coin. That's what I keep telling people. I have my own YouTube channel now, BitClout TV. And I kind of had to make it almost by popular demand. I have so many people, you know, I can't talk to everyone one-on-one for a half an hour every day, an hour every day. So I'm going to make the channel. So anybody who follows me or knows me from, you know, would be Instagram or Twitter, and they have more questions, watch, I'm going to put up a bunch of short videos and you get your own coin. So people can invest in you. If they believe in you and where you're going, like you're your own stock, you're your own cryptocurrency. So it was a no-brainer for me. And then I just like the way the platform runs, kind of like Twitter, and you can reclout folks and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's, really does have that core social media functionality, but it's just so much more. And let's talk a little bit about some other topics I've heard you talk about in your videos. One of them being Web 3.0, and BitClout being a big part of that new economy. Crypto native, being able to transact in pretty much anything, NFTs, physical goods, yourself, your reputation. Let's talk about how that plays into your thesis, and maybe how you think about maybe investing on the platform as well.
Well, Web 3.0 to me, kind of, I call it just, blockchain technology, if you will, is a broader term. It's more than just cryptocurrency. It's more than just NFTs. It's a whole metaverse. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting positioned on all the platforms, trying to get verified on as many platforms as I can as an artist. And BitClout, if you're listening, please verify me. but like, even for example, Decentraland, I bought land in Decentraland so I can build my own museum and upstage so artists can perform in the VR world, showcase their art in my own area. Like, I'm going to own that. And so what I like about blockchain technology and BitClout for that same kind of thing is that you get to retain ownership. You have your own property. That's kind of the point of either cryptocurrency or blockchain technology, because the math is the trusted source. Decentralization is kind of the whole point of this, at least as far as I'm concerned, as far as my perspective goes. Spotify is not a middleman. Mark Zuckerberg and Instagram is not a middleman. You're retaining control of your own art, and so, like, I have my own .crypto, for example. I have a website that links everything in my metaverse, whether it be Decentraland, BitClout. BitClout is my first and only decentralized social media platform that I want to use. So I wanted to ask you some questions too about BitClout, as far as folks investing in themselves, investing in others. I want to get some of your perspective as well, if you don't mind, Darian.
Yeah, please do.
Well, for example, right? At first, I kind of was just trying to figure it out. And then I was like, well, I kind of want to invest in myself at the beginning to some degree, because I believe in myself. I don't plan on ever selling my own coin, but I kind of also feel like if I don't invest in myself, who do I invest in? So, I bought some of my own coin, but then it was like, well, I don't want to buy too much of my own coin, because then maybe I don't want to discourage other folks from thinking it's too expensive or whatever. So I'm probably not going to buy much more of my own coin, but I have a stake in myself at the beginning, right? Which I think is fair for a creator to do. And I have 10% FR. So, hopefully that's attractive amount, to get other investors involved, other people who believe in me. And I want to ask you, like, if from a perspective of like an investor, what are some of the things you're looking for as far as someone you would invest in on BitClout?
Yeah, great question. So I think owning some of your own coin is definitely important, especially because of the bonding curve. It gets much more expensive over time. So you want to be that first investor in yourself. I think owning too much, the challenge has been that people look at the diversity of people on your cap table, and there's the HHI index, which is shown on Prosper Clout, and that shows how many people, how diversified your coin holders are. So I think if you own too much and no one else comes in, it'll look very concentrated, and someone else will be worried that you could rug pull. That being said, once you get a reputation, it's okay, to hold a lot of your coin, because people won't be following those metrics as much. They'll be saying, we want to invest in Cassius Cuvée. We trust him. It's okay that he owns a lot of his coin. We know that's just because he wants skin in the game. He wants to own his upside. And so I think, that starts to matter less as you build more of a reputation. I think FR of 10%, the founder reward of 10% is great. Anything around there works. And I think, some people have tried to move it around to, get people excited. Hey, today it's only 5%. Today it's 0%. Not a lot of people are keen on those games, if you will, but I think sometimes lowering it for a special event can make sense. Maybe you're dropping your album and you say, I'm going to lower it to 5% because I think, everyone should get in now if you believe in this album. Like, this is the right time. It's timely. And then the other thing is just coin price to follower ratio. I think a lot of people look at that. So if you have a high coin price now, but you haven't amassed those followers yet, people will be a little hesitant, and they'll hang back a bit until your followers sort of catch up with your coin price. And then, you'll find a bunch of new investors coming in.
Got you. And everything you said makes sense. See, part of one of the reasons I went to Omencoin is because I don't want someone else to rug pull my coin, right? Like, I want to have some more control, like a majority control over. I want to have a majority, but more than anybody else, so someone else can't come and yank it out, because I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I'm hodl forever, right? So that way it's solid. Like, that the main guy is not going to rug pull himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You're going to keep going.
The
But
other thing, the other thing people have done is traded their coin with someone who they also trust. So you'd find another influencer or another creator that you believed in, and you'd say, "Hey, how about we trade 5 coins of each other's coin, or two coins, and however much it is," and then you would both agree to hodl that, and then that diversifies it a bit, but you still have someone you trust holding that. That's another option.
someone out there hit me up who wants to trade coins, I'm always down to spread the wealth. Let's diversify. There's one thing I want to ask you too, Darren. Another thing. So I've heard on some people, and I've followed some folks, and they, obviously pretty much everyone on BitClout wants to get more exposure to BitClout, right? We're kind of all on the same page on that. But I want to ask again from the perspective, and kind of tell you my perspective for an investor. Like, I get it, right? They have blue check marks, people who are from other platforms. We want to get those folks on, right? I understand that actually makes sense. But from my perspective as a creator, like, I want to be known as a BitClout, right? So it seems to me it behooves us to want to support our folks, because even if we get a TikToker or a YouTuber, right? I'm using these terms, and sure, they can bring awareness to BitClout, but they're still known as a TikToker or a YouTuber who just got on BitClout. I want somebody like myself to be known as a BitClouter. So when I go on the big social media platform, or when I have interviews or whatever, and like, who is this guy? He's a BitClouter. He wasn't a TikToker who then just was already famous. And not only that, those people are probably a little bit harder to get over, because they're already eating off their platform, whatever they're making it off of. I'm like, let's blow up a BitClouter. Let's make him. It's like, no, this guy came up off of BitClout. He's somebody who believes in this platform from the beginning. That's kind of from my perspective. I'm like, I'm going to make the platform big, because then other people who are not already blue check marks won't feel like you had to already be famous before you got on the platform to make it something.
Yeah,
someone from the bottom can come up.
Makes a ton of sense, and I think it's been a big community debate, and the main limiting factor is just the core dev team only being able to verify so many people. But I think that they also want that too, I'd imagine, because that's good for BitClout. For Cassius Couvé's identity to be a BitClout influencer, not a TikTok, not a Instagram influencer. So I think if Diamond Hands or Maybeam is watching this, I would imagine they'll reach out and they'll say, "Hey, look, we just have to have a call. We can verify you're real." I'm sure they have a few other methods, and they'll get you the blue check. There are some other nodes that will get you the blue check. I'm verified on Love for Source, which is another node. So that's another interesting thing about BitClout, is the nodes are a window into the core blockchain. And you can actually have a different display for different nodes and different front ends. But everyone's using, for the most part, BitClout.com is still the largest node, and it's still the place you'd want to be verified. So I think that might be coming down the line. Hopefully, definitely appreciate that you want this platform to be really your core identity. And let's talk a little more about that, because you also mentioned NFTs. I listened to another one of your videos, and you talked about putting an NFT music video or an NFT song.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us a little more about that, and how you view like having something that's normally not a one-off, right? Like a song, being something as an NFT.
So I have multiple NFTs. So I'm verified on Rarible. I just got verified on Audio Node too. So shout out those guys. So on my Rarible, and it's on OpenSea as well, first of all, I was so inspired by the Bitcoin conference. I filmed everything when I was there. I made an NFT called the Bitcoin 2021 conference, right? It's only available on Rarible, one of one. I'm not putting it on YouTube or anything like that, right? The whole point of this is to lead people towards the blockchain, right? And it shows how much of a wonderful experience it was, and all the FUD and everything that's out there about cryptocurrencies and everything. This cuts right through that, right? I found myself on the cover of CoinDesk after I got back. And I was like, oh, this is awesome, because we were sitting right in the front. And it was some FUD about super spreader event. Like, it wasn't about the event at all, And I was like, hold on a minute. You guys got to watch my video, and you see the wonderful people, the charitable work and everything. So I've got a documentary video about the Bitcoin conference. And what I'm doing is, when I'm auctioning that off, I'm going to donate half the proceeds to charity. to the charity water, the one that was at the conference and the Tony Hawk Foundation. And also, as an artist, what I'm doing is I'm giving away my Bitcoin pendant and gold chain that I wore in the video at the conference with the sale of the NFT, and then have the proceeds donated to charity, kind of just to bring awareness to it, right? That makes a more of a tangible value for folks who don't understand, most like people I know who don't understand the value of an NFT. It kind of puts something on it a little bit. And so that's on Rarible, but also I have music videos. So it's a music video on Rarible as an NFT. The music videos are one of ones. And then I made a song called Tokenomics and a song called I'm a Believer, which are only available as NFTs. So there's multiple of those, but they're like, I made them like $3, right? 0.001 Ethereum to purchase those. And so you can buy the songs, there's multiple of those, but then of like the video, there's like a one of one. So I have those and as far as I know, I'm the only like artist making like NFT music videos, at least as of now, like full length videos. So those are something that I'm kind of proud of, kind of being first. And I love being on the blockchain because everything's like time stamped, it's like, you're the only one who really did it. I can go back in time and look.
How about like something that you actually customize for the purchaser after they buy it? So it's still one of one, but maybe it's one of your music videos or songs that you then add one line for that person, one rhyme about the buyer. Is that something that you've considered? And tell us what other things
you're already kind of reading my mind here, Dan. I gotta say, once the NFT is minted, right, the NFT is the NFT, right? So I can't go back after and do that. I do have things though that you can get unlockable with the NFT. So like Tokenomics, you get the acapella version. So DJs out there, feel free, remix it, have at it, go, do whatever you want with that, and same with I'm a Believer. And so, but one thing I'm going to do is, because if you heard SPAC Dream, I've been giving a shout out to folks. I'm going to be doing that weekly as a wrap on my BitClout TV for my best followers. So stay tuned. And, the guys who follow the most, read Clout, and the people, the women out there too, guys and girls, like we're going to, I'm always showing love, and I always just randomly. So this is one thing too, right? I don't usually have a whole bunch of like contests. I find someone really supporting, reclouting a lot and showing love and stuff. I just go and buy $5 or $10 of their coin. I transferred a few $1,000 of Clout from Bitcoin. And, I just pretty much every day buy a little coin here and there, from folks who are cool with me, people who are supporting. And I think that's important, especially for people with small accounts. You want to keep them at like, they got like $10 coin. Like they want someone to like be involved, they engage with them, like, oh, this actually, it means something when you don't have anything and you get a little something, it kind of encourages their use, and they can tell other people that they know, hey, check it out, I've gone up, it gives them a little hope, a little progress, and they see where this is leading. Then like it's tangible.
Absolutely. I think that kind of encouragement and engagement is really important for BitClout, because a lot of the spread is going to be word of mouth. And I think it's such an interesting platform, particularly for influencers, artists. And I think, you're sort of ahead of the curve in recognizing that, but hopefully there'll be others following. What would be like your core message to some other influencers that are considering the platform? Because we are talking about the trend of influencers joining the platform. What would your core message be to them, to why, they should join now, or why they shouldn't join if they don't see the value?
Ownership, property ownership of yourself, of your IP, of your creations, and a tangible value. Like not everything is necessarily about money, but it's very direct, you can make money indirectly on Instagram. Sure. You get a sponsorship and all that kind of stuff, but like, people buy followers and all that nonsense too on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. Like BitClout, that's it. That's a real number. How many people believed in you, how many people invested in you. That's a real number. And so especially, and I have some blue check mark friends, and a publicist has some friends, I'm going to be bringing on some blue check marks soon personally, but also just other people who aren't even blue check marks. It's the same message. It's ownership. You own a piece of yourself, and its value is like measured in what I think is a more direct way, probably a more fair way than the abstract way on the other social media platforms that they just keep changing algorithms, and what used to work for marketing doesn't work anymore, and it's pay to play on everything, tighter squeeze. And honestly, I kind of had it up to here with Mark Zuckerberg and all his platforms. I just can't anymore. And I'm like, when I post my Cassius Couvé on Instagram and everywhere else, almost always it's like, follow me on BitClout. In fact, I get the most views. This is a little tip. I get the most views on my Instagram Reels. I'm talking like I'll get 11,000 views on my Instagram Reels when I say follow me on BitClout. That gets you way more than 10x views, 20x views than if I talk about anything else. So people have interest in BitClout. We understand it's a new technology. They're not fully unaware how to sign up and stuff. I'm going to make some more how-to videos to help people get on there. And we know how it is. It's not perfect yet. Sometimes you got to do things a little bit slower. You get an error message, but in all honesty, I get errors on Instagram all the time anyway. So it's not like, it's just how the internet works sometimes. You just got to do things slowly and you'll catch on.
Yeah, I think we're very early in the technology adoption life cycle for this one on BitClout, and I think it's actually super impressive how far along we are with how few people have been working on the project. Just really, really great developer work, and we have a strong community group of developers as well. So a huge thanks to all them for what they've accomplished so far, and the project's advancing forward. Cassius, I think you bringing people to the platform, you starting BitClout TV, I think this is all super positive for encouraging people to join the platform. Anything else we haven't talked about so far that you want to give a shout out to anyone, talk about some new projects? What do you got for us?
Well, so my album is dropping tomorrow, brand new plug, and that's coming out on all platforms. And obviously I'll be posting to BitClout. That album cover is actually, even before I started BitClout, it's diamond hands. It's me holding diamonds and like giving out diamonds. That's kind of the whole point.
I saw that.
So it was like coincidence, like perfect that BitClout gives out diamonds. I love that. But shout out to Go Trade and everybody who supports me and everybody out there, and you, Darian, appreciate you, and Audio Node, and also my technology officer Gaetano Lococo. You should follow him as well. He's building me an awesome website that connects the whole metaverse, and eventually we're going to show other artists how to do it, whether it be NFTs. On BitClout TV, follow me on there as well, even though it's YouTube, because I'll be posting a lot more information on how to do things. But I want to encourage the dialogue. I don't have all the answers, and things evolve. So like maybe I don't say something works exactly the way it's supposed to work, or correct me, go on there, correct it, make comments on it, say, no, actually it goes like this, or if you give a diamond, whatever the case may be, or this is how you do this. It's an open dialogue. So I encourage engagement. I'm not worried if somebody tells me I said the wrong thing or whatever. Let's get it right. So that way we can spread the message correctly.
Yeah, I think that humble approach is so common to BitClout, and that's why you're a perfect fit here. I really appreciate your openness, willing to discuss, willing to come on the show. I think we have a bright future here with BitClout. Looking forward to checking back in with future plans. And we'll all be following you. I'm looking for the drop tomorrow. And Cassius Couvé, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me, Darren.